I was watching a YouTube video, and before the YouTube video was a trailer for season 3 of Picard. Did you see it yet? The season 3 trailer?
No, I haven't seen a final trailer. Does it look good?
It looked like a completely different show. It actually looked good, and I was like, I kind of want to see that. Had everyone.
I'll check it out. In for a penny, in for a pound. I suffered through the first 2 seasons. I'm not gonna walk away from Riker and Deanna Troi back in my life. So,
well, it's more than that, man.
I know it's the whole crew. Yeah,
it's the whole crew.
I got to do it.
Yeah. So I thought, I might have to. I don't even think I finished the first season. To be honest,
I don't see how it can matter. Honestly, I
just go into season 2, just be like,
or season 3, or just start season 3. Season 2 is such a, I don't know. Maybe you need
it's even worse.
Maybe you need to see like
try it.
The
I'll
ending.
try it.
I don't know. It's painful. It's really painful. It's almost as bad as the Ewoks cartoon. Heyo.
Oh, what? No, it's way worse.
No, it is worse. It is worse. Just it's longer, so you know.
Yeah. Welcome to This Endorian Life, a Star Wars podcast from the Radio Meanwhile Network. My name is Steve Rudd.
I'm Nick Gunning, and we're following the Ewoks from Return of the Jedi to the Ewok TV movies, the 80s cartoon, and beyond.
Today we are discussing Season 2, Episode 11A, Just My Luck. This episode originally aired on November 22nd, 1986.
Back in the day.
Yes.
Today's episode was written by Michael Dubill. It's a rare, different name in place here. So you might remember we talked about Michael Dubill back when we did A Warrior and Alerto. These are his only 2 writing credits in the history of time. He was on the production staff of Ewoks, so he did other things, but he's the credited sole writer for A Warrior and Alerto. And today's episode, Just My Luck. This was, of course, directed by Dale Scott, and on VHS was released as Ewoks 4, Wicked's Adventure as he becomes a warrior, along with some other episodes from around this time. Our featured cast member today is really a featured crew member, and I was shocked to see this happen. But in 2023, Taj Mahal, composer of the Season 1 theme song, you remember, We Are the won his 4th Grammy and 15th nomination when his album with Ry Cooder, Get On Board, the songs of Sonny Terry and Brownie McGee, was awarded for Best Traditional Blues Album. So there you go, Taj Mahal, still making the magic happen after all these years.
Yeah, so funny story, I was talking to somebody this weekend, and they were talking about like, concerts they've seen and blah, 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 and I went there and this and that, and then I went to this band and, you know, and then Taj Mahal was there. Do you know Taj Mahal? And I said, yeah, I do actually. And they were like, what? You do? And I was like, well, now that you mention it, I was like, yeah, they did the theme song to this show that I'm talking about on my podcast. And they were like, oh, what? And it was like, he was so stunned, you know? He was just like rattling off bands. But then once I said that, he was just like,
Taj Mahal.
Stunned. Yeah. So I was just like, yeah, I know.
You know, like Season 1, when that name popped up and everything, it didn't really mean anything to me. But I've like since I've seen like albums, you know, because it's right next to McCartney, and that's where I'm always looking. So like I've seen a lot of Taj Mahal albums at like, you know, record shops and things. And when you look up his discography, I mean, he's like a legit blues musician's like pushing all the way back to the 60s. Like I said, 15 Grammy nominations and a 4th win here in 2023. It actually is when I saw that, I started listening to it. Again, it's called Get On Board. And it's a cool album. It has a very crackling energy that feels like you're just in the room. So it's a cool album. So listen to it if you haven't. It's Get On Board by Taj Mahal and Ry Cooder. So yeah, I thought it was really funny to see that name pop up.
Yeah. 15 nominations. That's insane.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Serious business. All right. Shall we get into Just My Luck?
We shall. Uber detailed plot.
Yes.
Of Season 2, Episode 11A, Just My Luck.
Bring it on.
We open to Milani painting a picture of Baga. Baga or Baga? Baga? I don't know. Baga. Yeah, my kids keep correcting me every time.
They're right. They're correct.
Which Wicket and Tebow mistake for a shrub bush. A shrub bush. I had to rewind it a few times. They did say shrub bush. It's a shrub bush.
Yeah.
The same thing. It's like saying a tree. Baga sneezes wildly, causing paint to spill on the painting. Milani bursts into tears, claiming she'll never be a good painter. In order to make her feel better, Wicket tells her a story about the time he almost quit being a warrior. We flash back to when the crew had to pass their coming-of-age tests. Wicket furiously trains for his warrior's test, repeating the mantra, "Gotta pass," in his head. Then he overhears the girls mention if he doesn't pass, he'll never be a warrior. This causes him to stumble while training and fall into a mud pit. Thankfully, Thjs has a solution. He's brought Wicket a luck sprite to help him relax. Wicket, a bit skeptical, tests the luck sprite by shooting 3 rapid-fire arrows at a target. The luck sprite magically causes them to hit the bullseye and split or stack on each other, kind of like in Robin Hood. After they walk away, the tree that the target is posted on splits in half and falls. The next day, Wicket actually begins to blow each warrior event, and the elders are visibly annoyed. We discover the luck sprite isn't helping Wicket at all, but is actually sabotaging him. After he accidentally knocks down the elder's viewing stand, Chief Chirpa gives Wicket the bad news. He failed the test. Though he may be able to retake the warrior test in the future, for now his scores place him in the role of a Bordock stable sweeper. An assistant Bordock stable sweeper, that is. Wicket reluctantly has to report to Orlo, the Bordock master, in the morning. Thjs and the girls find out what happened when they discover that the luck sprite brings bad luck, not good.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah. At the stable, they try to convince Wicket that his screw-ups were the result of the bad luck sprite and that Chief Chirpa will let him retake the test, but he has already accepted his depressing Bordock life fate. Nissa and Latara send Thjs off to find the sprite while they stage their own rescue so that Wicket builds his confidence. It backfires when Wicket tries to run off and find a real warrior, but instead causes Latara to fall into the river. Frustrated and miserable, Wicket runs off to the Cavern of Broken Dreams. So aptly named. I mean, doesn't your town have one?
Great name.
Yeah, right?
It's very specific, yeah.
When I have trouble, I go to the Street of Broken Dreams. Latara, it sounds like a song, right? Latara, Nissa, and Thjs, along with the captured bad luck sprite, meet outside the cavern to lure Wicket out. Instead of Wicket, they discover a huge spider who quickly traps Nissa in its web. Hearing the commotion, Wicket finally emerges and saves Nissa from the spider, despite the bad luck sprite trying to foil his every attempt. The bad luck sprite, wailing, claims no warrior has ever broken his bad luck magic. Finally, Wicket realizes his true warrior skill. We flash back to the present, where Wicket and Thjs teach Milani the moral of the story, to never give up on your dreams. Wicket claims her painting of Baga is much better now, and Milani frustratingly claims it's supposed to be him. Roll credits. Dang.
It does look just like Baga. Looks just like
Baga. It does look like Baga, yeah. In his defense.
Have we had an episode that's all flashback? I don't think so.
No.
The only thing I could think of was like in season 1 with some of the Morag stuff, there was like the flashback to Logray being young.
Yeah, we did have that. Yep.
Like there was a little bit of a flashback there, but this whole thing, like basically it's just a frame story. Like Milani is trying to paint. That's what the episode's about. And the whole like doing the warrior test is just whatever, it's an object
the
lesson.
Frame story. I call it like the bookends of the story. Like you kind of start with them and end with them, right?
Yeah, it's like a clip show, but with all new clips.
Yeah. Isn't that basically how Family Guy runs? It's basically just all flashbacks to explain pretty everything that happens. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's it's one way to tell a story.
Yeah. I thought it was a pretty good way in to tell this tale from earlier about how they get assigned to their roles or whatever, because Thjs, Thjs is talking to Logray and some of the other like whatever wizardy elders, trying to make a plant come to life. And so he passes his like warrior's apprentice test.
Yep.
And what is it? Latara wants to become a hood maker.
Is that what that was? Like, I couldn't quite. Yeah.
designer hoods, she said. So she wants to be like a fashion designer.
She does say that. Yeah.
And Nisa is passing her like leadership test basically to make sure she has what it takes to be the leader. So, these are things that we didn't really see, and it gives a little bit of a window into like how they're setting up whatever the culture, that they're like apprentices and things like that.
Yeah.
So I like that. Oh, that was fine.
Yeah, I liked this one, and I think I like it basically as equally as the last one.
I was thinking that too.
But it's funny though, like this one at the very end seemed too obvious with the whole moral of the story. Like just even saying it. And the moral of the story is, and then like Milani repeats, and it's just like, all right, we've kind of gone back to the moral of the story, but they've made it so painfully obvious rather than like kind of naturally learning a lesson.
Yeah.
Right? Like I think they did that well in the first half of season 1. Where it was, there was like that natural lesson, and you learn a lesson better when you learn it yourself rather than somebody telling it to you, right? And that's what these episodes feel like. Somebody telling you, like, don't touch fire because it's hot and you'll be burned, and you're like, okay. Rather than like, we see them go through the trials and troubles of touching fire, and then at the end they're like, yeah, touching fire is bad. We shouldn't do it, So
no good. Yeah, you're right. I allowed them a little grace in this one because it's supposed to be Wicket teaching his little sister a lesson. So like at least they kind of incorporated the spoon feeding of the moral in there by having the frame story be what really says it. I thought we got some cool creatures. I liked that blue spider monster.
Yeah, that thing was pretty cool, huh?
It was. He was so vibrant. He was like a vibrant blue with yellow accents, and he like spit a web out of his mouth, which was gross. He was like bleh, and like a web,
but then it like opened up perfectly into a web.
Yeah,
so that was kind of wild.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, he was pretty cool. I thought that one was. I was like, oh man, he's blue. He's very vibrant blue, right? We don't see that much in the show. We see lots of greens, browns, tans, yellows. Maroons, everything very drabby style, like very earthy tones, right? And all of a sudden, this guy was like bright royal blue and yellow, right? It was really like yellow too.
It really stood out. Yeah, it did. I liked the design and the look quite a bit. And this also addressed some of the things we've been complaining about, in recent episodes too, where like we saw a lot more of the community. Like we saw, aside from Chirpa and Logray, they had like whatever underlings and like other parts of the village. Milani had some stuff to do, so we expanded the main crew a little bit. So I like that. I like seeing the other people.
We met Orlo.
It felt a lot more full. We met Orlo. Yeah.
Yeah, come with me, Wicket. You talk
like so two good. Teeth. Yeah. Yeah.
So great.
Now, the Luck sprite had a real Yoda vibe.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that was intentional at all? I mean,
I don't know. That is one thing that I first thought of too. I was kind of like, oh, it's like a shriveled up Yoda. Like if Yoda, like if you sucked all the water out of his body, he would look like that.
Right. Well, it was kind of like a Yoda head on an ET body. Yeah. You know what I mean? He had like kind of the spindly neck and was little, but it was kind of, I think that's kind of a weird move to have it, like the facial structure and the ears and even the color looks so much like whatever Yoda's race is, and have it not be that.
Yeah,
it was like too similar.
He looked like
too similar to not be connected.
A cross between like a gnome and a leprechaun. I think that's kind of what they were going for. Like that at least his clothes. It seemed like they were doing like a gnome leprechaun type deal. Because he was the Luck sprite and he was green, but then he looked like a distant cousin of whatever species Yoda is.
True. It's interesting that we only see this character in the flashback, and like again, it's just a one-off thing. And like we've talked about before, it kind of changes their version of magic in this cartoon is very inconsistent. This sort of like almost Scarlet Witchy-ness of him kind of like changing the odds of things is a little odd compared to how we've seen other things. And like, what does he get out of it? Like why does the Luck sprite want to do this kind of thing? Like what, you know what I mean? Like what does he gain? I don't know.
Right. You're like, because he doesn't draw power off of like what happens.
Right.
He's just he's consuming power, and
he shows up to be a nuisance, I guess. Like, like Mitzelplick or something like that.
Like Mitzelplick. Yep. Exactly. Oh, that's exactly kind of what he's like. So yeah, it did seem weird, and it was kind of funny that I was like, you never thought to ask if he was a good one, you know?
Like, I thought that was kind of clever though, that it was like, he's a luck sprite, you know, like, and you hear that and you think positive, you think good luck, you know. So I like that it was bad, sprite, and I thought the thing of Wicket shooting the arrows successively, like into each other, boom, boom, boom. And then as soon as they walk away, that's when you see the tree splitting and breaking.
Yep.
I thought that was a good way to sort of...
That was ominous.
Convince them. Yeah, but it convinced them that the luck was good because of Wicket's shooting. And they don't see the, the inevitable result of tree breaking. So yeah, it was a decent structure, I thought there. I like that.
Yeah.
What's your Oak of Arc moment? What's your negative moment?
I don't know. I think my Oak of Arc moment is the fact that like Wicket's telling this story like he's a warrior now.
True.
Bro.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah.
When he gets to the end and he's like, yep, that's why I never gave up. And I'd be that guy there listening to the story along with him, like, that's cute. You're still not a warrior though. Like,
right.
What are you talking about, dude?
I know.
You know, I was just like, oh, I get this. It was good. I thought it was good. Aside from that one fact that like I like to nitpick, and I would say I'd be that guy. Like you're actually.
It was Tebow's little bit in there that made me bump up on that, because Tebow is like, "Yay! I get to train to be a wizard."
Yeah,
and I was like, "Oh, right. They're not actually these things.
They're
like
not
even
yet.
in the mainstream, they're just testing to see if they have the whatever the capability to train."
Tebow's technically the furthest along, I guess, right? Because he's the one that's actually. I mean, it doesn't always work out, but he still does stuff, right?
He does.
Wicket, on the other hand, just seems to be lucky for the most part.
All right, so you didn't like that Wicket is full of crap. All right.
No, oh yeah. What about you?
I hated that they killed the spider. I didn't like that. I mean, I know he was a villainous spider, but like they dropped that rock on him, and then he's like, ah!
Yeah. What if he was there? Because he had a similar instance in his spider family where they're like, "You'll never amount to nothing," and he's like, "Fine, I'm going to the cavern of broken dreams."
That's right.
All they got to do is he just wanted to be there to sulk, and he comes out and he's like, "What's going on?" And
kick the spider while he's down. Yeah.
And he was like, he shot the web because he was afraid that they would fall, right? Because I mean, Nisa falls, right, and she falls onto the web, which saves her.
Yeah.
I mean, the spider was never the bad guy here, right?
Right.
Technically.
Right. Yeah.
So,
he wasn't.
Just a depressed spider.
He was just another guy struggling, and they really kicked him while he's down.
They really did. Yeah. That's a good one. I forgot. I forgot really that they pretty much, he's dead.
Didn't like it. So. Didn't like it. Well, what did you like? What was your Ichiwawa moment?
I liked Orlo. I really wish.
That's my Ichiwawa moment.
I know. Okay. He's so good. So at the end, I was really hoping for like a, and that's why you keep going. But they cut to Orlo, who was like still the Bordock
still the Bordock stable master. Yeah,
like never amounted to anything. Just after all these years. Yeah. Oh man. So yours is also Orlo.
Yeah. Yes, it is. It is. But like more specifically, we have all these like one-off characters that we see, and we're never going to see Orlo again. I'm quite sure. Like we've seen the last of Orlo, but I can't think of any like new Ewoks that we've been in, like any named Ewok characters that we've been introduced to over the course of the series, other than Asha. It's like Asha, and now Orlo.
Yeah, Chukatrak is another one that we've heard, but
Chukatrak was in the movies and stuff. So Chukatrak was like an established character.
So he's named.
And like Nisa and Tebow and all that are like original to this series, but they're kind of set from the beginning. We haven't, over the course of the series, been introduced to a lot of new Ewok characters. So yeah, I like that Orlo had a whole vibe and a backstory and everything. So I like that, and I just liked seeing people in the village again.
Funny thing is, Orlo did look different, right? It looked like he had like a different head dress on, and like he looked, and I was just like, oh, we're kind of like getting into a different cast of Ewoks or something like that. Like maybe the hooded ones we see are like the warrior types, right? That's all we ever see.
Yeah.
Who knows? Because Tebow doesn't wear a headdress like Wicket does, or I guess Wicket really doesn't either, right?
No, Wicket does. Wicket does.
Oh, he does. Okay.
He's got a green hood, but Tebow.
He's got the green one. Yeah.
Tebow has like a little like a gummy bear's
Purple,
hat, like a little hat,
like a little lavender Robin Hood type hat with a feather, right? Something like that.
That's right.
Yeah. So it's just like that's something that I never realized. I just kind of think Ewok, and you just think of like the traditional headdress. And then, of course, Logray doesn't wear that. Chief Chirpa doesn't wear that. So it's just like, but it's still burned into my mind that they all wear that.
Mm-hmm. I know. Yeah, so you're right. I think we are kind of seeing a different thing. I just did a quick fact check over on Wikipedia, and this is truly the only time we see Orlo. So it's just this episode and whatever's going on in your fan fiction these days.
Yeah. I'm going to write a whole story about Orlo.
I wish you would. I wish you would. Try to keep it PG, but yeah, that'd be great.
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
That's true.
I can write a steamy romance novel. You never know what happens in those stables.
That's right. That's right. That's well. I mean that does kind of feel like classic romance novel, though, right? The stable boy. You know,
he's the stable boy. Yeah,
he's actually not as old as he looks. He's just tired because he's such a Lothario.
He's actually 17.
Let's say 18 just to be safe. But yeah, little Orlo. What a backstory. What a backstory.
What a lover. Yeah, that's true.
Oh boy, we took that to a weird place. We're recording late. I can't.
It's late.
It is. It is. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I would rate this pretty high. I think I put it on par with whatever we said last time. I think these are very comparable episodes. Yeah, 4. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to push it up to 4.5. I think this was a good one.
Okay.
I think this was a good one because it was like, I think everybody got kind of a featured moment. You know, I thought like just for the reasons I said before, that the frame story worked, introducing us to Orlo, the last of the great Ewok lovers, I think was just a cool thing. What about you? How do you rate this one?
I was a 4. This one like kind of hit everything. Well, I don't know. Maybe it was a little bit better because I think the writing was really good. So like, of course, the first thing I did notice, I was like, oh, a different writer. I wonder what we'll get.
Yeah.
You know, like
it's noteworthy.
And
yeah.
I think the writing, I would probably push it up to like a 4.25 though, because I don't know, like there's a couple 4.5 episodes that I've given in the past that were like, I really liked. This one was just good. And it was still an Ewok. And this one was an Ewok episode, right? This one was truly Ewok, had to do with the warriors,
it was.
You know, and their tribe and what they do in the coming of age. So yeah, like it was good. I don't think it was great, but it was, I feel like this should have been the average of what the Ewoks show was like, right? This is par. And so, you know, we're thinking like, wow, this is a pretty good episode, but this is what it should be, you know? We just had so many episodes that are so bad that when we get to an episode like this, we're like, wow, this was really good. But
I feel like to go back and listen to this podcast, we would be surprised at how many of season 2 episodes we liked. Because I feel like every time we're like, even though these are bad, we liked this one. But I feel like we've been on a pretty good streak. Honestly, I feel like the last several have been strong.
If not, we definitely feel like I feel like we are on a streak right now of good episodes. Man, we'll probably go back and realize it was just like the first 2 episodes that were bad, and then we like everything after that. But those first 2 episodes were really bad, right?
Yeah,
so
that's right.
The first couple ones.
What a time!
Yeah,
what a time. Okay, well, we're running out. We're running out of
Speaking
episodes.
Of time,
this was episode 11A, and there's only 13 episodes, so we've only got a few more segments here to cover before we move on to the comic books and the droid show. So boy, what a journey. Next time, we'll be back with episode 11B, bringing up Norky. I was a special guest star over on Previously on X-Men recently, so if you're not listening to Previously on X-Men right here on the Radio Meanwhile Network, go take a listen, because we talked about Nature Girl, who's kind of an obscure X-Men character, and X-Men Green, which is not even really a team, but sort of an umbrella title for Nature Girl stories that are part of Marvel's Infinity Comics, X-Men Infinity Comics. So it was a cool time. So go listen to Previously on X-Men, everybody.
Ooh, sounds fun. I've never heard of that superhero, so I'll listen to that.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
We'll teach you all about it on Previously on X-Men.
Very cool.
All right. That's it for me. What are you doing? You doing any other podcasts? Whatever happened to your booze podcast?
It's still up all on the shelf here.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay.
I'll get there.
All right.
I got nobody to do it with.
Perfect.
It's just me and my bottle. Maybe I'll just do that. I'll just talk to myself.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. That sounds sad. That's how Orlo got to be the way he is.
That's what my podcast is going to be. Orlo, the Bordock stable master, and his whiskey. Come join us.
I don't drink, so you just have to tell me. You just have to tell me, this whiskey tastes like this. And I'd be like, oh, interesting. Next.
It tastes like tarry rope, and iodine.
This one tastes like peat moss and licorice.
That's what this one tastes like right here. That's my favorite.
Perfect. Okay.
So that's all about that. You'd probably hate it.
All right.
My wife says it smells like paint thinner, so she would be a bad co-host.
That's not a good. Hey, has she ever listened to an episode of this podcast yet? Because we're running out of Ewoks episodes.
I don't think so, but she did admit the other day. I told you that. I think she admitted that I said something.
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh yeah, actually never heard a single episode." And I was like, "What?"
You got to play the one with all of our kids on it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That'll draw her in.
That one's fun.
Okay, we got to get out of here. It's too late.
All right. Well, I'll see you next time.
Yes, I'll be here.
All right. This Endorian Life was brought to you by the Radio Meanwhile Network. Other shows on the network include 9021 Here We Go, 90s Music Got Me Like, and Previously on X-Men. Share your thoughts on this and upcoming episodes by following us on Facebook or Twitter @Endorian Life, and please rate, subscribe, and share the show wherever you get your podcasts.